All right, Hank, let's answer another question from our listeners. This one comes from Dashel, who writes, Dear John and Hank, I just accidentally walked into a fancy restaurant. I thought it was a grocery store, and I know I should leave, but they already seated me and gave me a menu. What do I do? Do I stay, or am I allowed to leave? Please help. Nothing rhymes with Dashel. Lol.
Oh, man. I'm sorry. You can absolutely leave, but you can't leave.
No, what you're having, Dashel, is a very expensive memory that will last a lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah. There's probably a way to get out of that place for less than $50.
Have I ever told you about the time I ended up in the Versace mansion?
Oh, what?
So one time we were in Miami for an art show, and this was when Sarah was working at a museum.
Okay.
And she was like, I have to meet this famous collector. They have this artwork that we want to get on loan for our show. And I said, great. I love going to fancy places. And she was like, they're at a dinner at the Versace mansion and they'll come out when they can. And I was like, so what do we do? Just like stand outside, wait for the people to come outside. She was like, no, there's a champagne bar. And so we'll just go to the bar and we'll have
the Versace mansion?
Yeah. We'll go to there's also a restaurant there, I guess.
Oh, okay.
We'll go to the bar.
So there's like public spaces. It's not just like
I don't. Yeah, listen, I don't understand how any of this stuff works, Hank.
Yeah.
Like, I live a very comfortable life. This is on a whole different scale, right? These are places
I've brushed up against some of this too, where I'm like, oh, I am a fish out of water, right? I'm like,
I know about Noah's Arium
right now.
Yeah. Exactly. So we go to this Versace mansion, which is very nice and well appointed and everything. and we go in there, and I look like a schlep. Like
you look. You're wearing a turtleneck.
There's comment that always sticks in my mind where it's somebody said, it's so funny to think of Schleppy John Green walking around that nice house with all that art, referring to my house. Now imagine the same Schleppy John Green walking around a famous mansion.
Yeah.
Right.
Not in Indianapolis.
There in Miami during like the biggest art show of the year. So very uncomfortable, very fish out of water. And they're like, can I help you? And we were like, yeah, we're supposed to like meet some people here who can maybe loan an artwork to this museum show. And
yeah,
like,
you should have been like, look, this is a polo. It's named after an expensive sport.
I don't know if you've heard of Ralph Lauren. Some people say he's among the greatest Ralphs. So I will thank you to give me a seat at your champagne bar. So they sit us down. And they give us the champagne bar menu. And, I understand that there's a markup when you go to a restaurant or a bar. Like, it costs 3 to 4 times more to have a glass of wine at a restaurant. There's all kinds of good reasons for that, right? Sure. Like, you got to pay the staff. It's a lot of work. They've done a lot of curation for you, etc. I'm grateful for their expertise, grateful to pay more. I sit down at the champagne bar, the very least expensive bottle of champagne.
Do you have to get a bottle?
No. Glass of champagne.
Oh, okay.
Glass of champagne. The least expensive one is $92. I'm sitting there with Sarah. This is like 2008. Okay. I'm not swimming in cash. Paper Towns hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
And even after Paper Towns came out, I wasn't swimming in cash. Like, she's a curatorial
Paper Towns,
assistant.
the one that was famously the
cash cow
delivered you.
Yeah. It did change my life. I mean, I remember like getting the first royalty check and being like, now that's a living.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're sitting there. We got this, and the waiter comes back and he's like, what can I get you guys? And I was like, one singular glass of your cheapest
The glasses come in halves. Can I get a glass of this one? I've done the math, and $47 sounds reasonable.
So we're sitting there sharing our $92 3.5 ounces of champagne.
Yeah.
And this guy doesn't come out for like 45 minutes. He can see us. There's like a glass thing, so he can see us. We can see him.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid. I'm just staring him down. I'm like, please make this misery end. Like, the worst case scenario is that even taking the smallest possible sips, we work our way through this $47 a piece, 3 ounces of champagne.
Yeah.
And finally he comes out and they have a conversation, whatever. The artwork does end up in the in the show. So it worked fine. Man, that was expensive. So that's what you got to do, Dashel. You're going to have that meal and you're going to freaking enjoy it.